Hello, my friends, my younger brothers and sisters in the legal profession. Welcome to the new video of the series, Continuing Legal Education for Lawyers or Law for Lawyers. Today, we will be discussing some useful and practical tips and suggestions for new advocates, those who have just enrolled with the Bar Council as advocates. We will be discussing how to start the practice, from which court to start practice, from High Court or from lower court, how to select a senior, and much more important, how to learn from a senior. If a new advocate has a relative or a family friend who is well established as a lawyer in the High Court, he will not face the usual problems which are faced by other new advocates. The first question a new advocate has to decide is whether he should start practice from High Court or lower court. You may think practicing in the High Court is very attractive and prestigious. My suggestion is that you should start practice from the High Court only if your relative or a family friend is a well-established advocate in the High Court. Otherwise, you should spend at least a few months in the lower civil court and a few months in the lower criminal court. In the appellate side of the High Court, thousands of appeals and revisions are filed against orders of the lower civil courts and lower criminal courts. Supposing in the High Court, in one of your matters, the question arises whether lower civil court was correct in rejecting an application for recall of a witness. You will not be able to argue the case properly in the High Court unless you have some idea about examination of a witness, cross-examination of a witness, and recall of a witness. Your 6 months practice in the lower civil court will be of great help to you. Supposing in a criminal matter in the High Court, the question is whether lower criminal court was correct in framing a charge. For arguing the case in the High Court, you must have good idea about framing of charge, and you will get this idea only if you have spent 6 months in lower criminal court. My recommendation is that you should spend 6 months in lower civil court, 6 months in lower criminal court, and then think of starting practice in the High Court. Similarly, if you have intention of practicing in income tax matters, you should spend at least 6 months with an advocate practicing in the income tax department. I suggest that you should also spend several months with an advocate who is specialized in drafting conveyances, lease deeds, business agreements, tenancy agreements, and other deeds and agreements. If you learn the art of drafting agreements and deeds, and if you learn how to register these documents with the registrar of assurances, you, even as a junior lawyer, will be able to earn good income. You may say, I have already decided in which branch of law I will practice. You will say, I have decided I will not do civil cases, I will not do criminal cases, I will not do income tax cases, I will not do drafting of deeds and agreements. I have got a good senior who is a top lawyer in writ matters. I have decided to specialize in writ matters. I'll not do anything else. You are not alone in this line of thinking. I myself had decided to start with income tax matters. That was more than 50 years ago in 1972. I was corrected in my wrong notion by an advocate who was one of the topmost lawyers of the country at that time. I will share my experience with you in my next video. The next important question is how to select a senior. I suggest that you should try to become junior to a middle grade advocate. This advocate will have a sufficient number of briefs. Still, he will have some time to talk to you and to guide you. The much more important question is how to learn from a senior. No senior will teach you like a student. No senior will teach you how to draft a petition or a plaint. No senior will teach you how to argue a case. You have to learn these things by observing your senior. When you come across a petition or a plaint or an affidavit drafted by your senior, first of all, concentrate on the format, the form in which the petition or the plaint or the affidavit has been drafted. If your senior doesn't have any objection, take a xerox of the format and preserve it for future reference. When the senior is preparing a case, sit near him without disturbing him and observe how he is making the preparation. Just observe from which textbook or from which website he is making a research about case laws. Also observe how the senior is making notes about facts and how he is preparing the list of dates. And most important, how he is making argument notes and how actually he is arguing a case in court. If my junior brothers and sisters follow these steps and suggestions, they will undoubtedly become successful lawyers one day. May I request you to subscribe to this channel so that the notification about my new video will come to you. If you are watching this video on Facebook, I request you to kindly follow the Facebook channel. Thank you very much.